24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Coming up right now on KGW Plus, thousands of flights delayed as a massive blizzard hits the Northeast. The effects being felt right here at PDX. And even more flights canceled after the head of a powerful drug cartel is killed in Mexico. Now Americans being told to shelter in place. And one Oregon lawmaker looking to fast-track tariff refunds for small businesses. Why she wants the feds to foot the bill. And new at 12:30 today, a Clackamas County man will now spend the next 25 years behind bars for killing a local mail carrier back in 2024. 53-year-old Chad Westover learned his sentence in court this morning for stabbing and killing Tristan Thomas with a kitchen knife. Prosecutors say it happened during a fight between the two of them outside of a Clackamas apartment complex. Thomas was the father of a teenage daughter and worked for the U.S. Postal Service for more than a decade. He was 43 years old. Let's give you a live look outside. This is the view from our Vancouver Waterfront Springs sky cam, where rain has been coming down steady all day long so far. We're turning now to meteorologist Rod Hill, who's been tracking what's in store for the rest of the afternoon. Hey.
Well, it's kind of self-explanatory. I hate to think you don't need me, but maybe you don't need me.
We always need you, Rod.
You just need to look at the radar and go, wow, it's raining everywhere. We still don't believe we'll have any breaks in the rain going all the way through the evening hours. There's nothing stormy here. There is a bit of a breeze. It's snowing down over the Cascades, but the passes are just wet now, where temperatures have been actually rising. And you can see the radar is picking up a little snow over the Coast Range. But I just checked, the highest highway passes are reporting 36 to 39 degrees, so that will just be a rainy situation for travel. The raindrops falling over our state capital, 46 degrees is the number there. Similar scene over downtown Portland and 44. And check out your temperatures all the way through the evening hours, 43, 42. So we're not going up, we're going to hold steady and actually come down. And we think this number of 42 could hold for the most part and be your low temperature tomorrow morning when more rain is coming in. That will give you your complete forecast breakdown coming up. Stephanie?
Okay, we'll see you then, Ron. Thank you. Over 40 million Americans are under blizzard warnings this afternoon, dropping in some places 1 to 2 inches per hour. And the effects are being felt all across the country. Multiple flights have been delayed or canceled out of PDX this morning. That's just a few over the 5,000 flights that have been canceled nationwide. Flights have also been impacted by violence erupting in Mexico after the country's most wanted drug cartel leader was killed in an operation. The Defense Department says the cartel leader, often referred to as El Mencho, was wounded in an operation to capture him yesterday. He then died while being flown to Mexico City. After his death, cartel members set vehicles on fire to block military operations. He was a top target for the U.S. and Mexican governments, who, according to the White House, was one of the top traffickers of fentanyl into the U.S. American citizens in certain parts of Mexico are now being asked to shelter in place until further notice. That includes the CEO of a Seattle housing program. She spoke with us while on vacation with her family in Puerto Vallarta.
We're hoping that by tomorrow, the airport will be a much calmer place, and that, flights will be able to land and take off. But, we're also, not counting on it.
As of last night, Mexico's president says authorities have cleared more than 250 roadblocks in 20 states. And there was also confusion at airports this morning after the Department of Homeland Security flip-flopped on whether TSA PreCheck will stay up and running through the ongoing department shutdown. In a reversal from previous plans, the Department of Homeland Security now says TSA PreCheck will remain operational for now. The suspension of PreCheck was supposed to begin Sunday morning. This comes as DHS faces a lack of funding as Democratic and Republican lawmakers continue to negotiate over a DHS funding package in D.C. Democrats have continued to push for restrictions on immigration enforcement agents. And here closer to home, investigators in Washington County are looking into what caused a large house fire that displaced a family of 5 and their pets over the weekend. Firefighters with Tualatin Valley Fire and Rescue were called just after 12:30 Saturday afternoon to Southwest Hillsborough Highway north of Newburgh. That's where they found a 4-story log home engulfed in flames, threatening trees and nearby buildings. With help from other fire districts, they were able to put the fire out, but not before the home's roof collapsed. Luckily, no one was hurt. And in Portland, 4 people were displaced after a fire in a home at the Brentwood-Darlington neighborhood on Saturday morning. Firefighters put most of that fire out quickly, but clutter in the home made the response more difficult. The fire is also under investigation. And still ahead at 12:30, many small businesses caught in the middle of tariff whiplash, why one Oregon lawmaker wants the feds to foot the bill. But first, more than 40 million Americans under blizzard warnings this afternoon. The latest is heavy snow and high winds wallop the Northeast.
I'm Matthew Herchick, new morning anchor at KGW. I'm a huge sports fan, and I know I might be from the Buckeye State, but I'm excited to explore what the Rose City has to offer. I want to make sure you're prepared for the day, whether it's bringing you breaking news or sharing those inspirational stories that make you smile. We've got you covered. Because when news moves fast, you need a team that moves with you. Make the move to Portland's #1 streaming newscast, Sunrise, weekday mornings from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
Welcome back. A powerful winter storm is hitting the East Coast with heavy snow and brutal winds. Many are without power and thousands of flights have been canceled, causing headaches across the country. NBC's Emily Akeda reports from New York.
Well, this is anticipated to be one of the top 10 worst snowstorms in New York City history as I trudge through what is officially 15 plus inches of snow here in Central Park and counting. And certainly while it is a beautiful scene in this park, it is dangerous out on the roadways. And that is why New York City officials are issuing a rare travel ban to keep people off the roads, to allow those snow plows and emergency vehicles to continue to do their work. That is through noon today. At times we saw snowfall rates in parts of the Northeast 2 to even 3 plus inches an hour. That coupled with the really strong winds, which have also those gusts exceeding 80 miles an hour, have proven cause for concern, and it's why so many officials across the region are urging people to stay home. But I walked over here because I think this is a really telling scene of exactly the intensity of this storm. You look here, you can see just how much snow has piled up. This is a snow bench, believe it or not. I'm also going to walk over here to show you just the weight of the snow. We're talking about a wet, heavy snow, and you can see how it's weighing down on these branches. That proves problematic for power outages because the branches snap onto power lines. It's why hundreds of thousands of people are without power from Virginia to Massachusetts. And some energy providers say it could take days to restore as the snow continues to fall here in New York. I'll send it back to you.
It looks like she's up in the mountains, doesn't it? And I think you could tell that's kind of a wet, heavy snow, and there's a reason for that. Look at the temperatures. The wind is blowing, so it's cold, but actual temperature Fahrenheit, not that bad. In fact, New York right now is 33 degrees. It's 23 by the time you get inland all the way into Cleveland. It's a classic nor'easter, called that way because the winds circulate around the low and come into the northeast. Again, many areas reporting 40 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts with that 12 to 24 inches of snow on the ground. Our forecast, compared to that, a piece of cake. That's coming up.
Hi, I'm Christine Padawanich. I'm a journalist at KGW, and I love exploring Portland's amazing food scene. New spot? I'm there. So I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. What happens here affects us all, and that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it doesn't sit still, it moves. It moves you to act, to vote, to volunteer, to speak up, or to lend a hand. It moves your mind by challenging assumptions and offering new perspectives. It moves you forward by giving you the information to make decisions and thrive where you live. And yes, it moves your heart through the good stuff that stays with you wherever you are. And at KGW, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Portland.
Investigators in Florida are searching for answers after an armed man was shot and killed by Secret Service and a sheriff's deputy outside of President Trump's Mar-a-Lago home. Authorities say the president was hundreds of miles away when the shooting happened early Sunday morning. NBC's Chris Pallone has more.
Federal investigators are trying to figure out why a North Carolina man showed up outside President Trump's Florida estate carrying a gas can and brandishing a shotgun. The Palm Beach County Sheriff says it happened around 1:30 Sunday morning. 2 Secret Service agents and a sheriff's deputy confronted the man who entered the secure area around Mar-a-Lago.
He was ordered to drop those 2 pieces of equipment that he had with him, at which time he put down the gas can, raised the shotgun to a shooting position. At that point in time, the deputy and the 2 Secret Service agents fired their weapons and neutralized the threat.
Law enforcement sources told NBC News the suspect is 21-year-old Austin Tucker Martin. He died at the scene. Martin's family reported him missing earlier on Saturday. The Secret Service said no one it protects was at Mar-a-Lago at the time.
We want to be clear. The President of the United States was not in the state of Florida. And this remains an active investigation by the FBI.
President Trump stayed in Washington over the weekend, hosting Republican governors at the White House a few hours before the shooting.
I invite everyone in this room to bring forward ideas and opportunities to better serve our people, and in turn, never hesitate to let us know if there's anything we can do for you.
The president spent much of the weekend dealing with the fallout from Friday's Supreme Court decision ruling many of the tariffs he's imposed on foreign imports are illegal. In response, Mr. Trump said Saturday he is now raising global tariffs to 15% under a different law. Chris Pallone, NBC News.
President Trump is pushing forward on the key plan of his economic agenda, despite the Supreme Court ruling making many of his tariffs illegal. On Friday, the justices ruled that the law the president cited to impose sweeping emergency tariffs without the approval of Congress did not, in fact, give him that authority. However, another law allows the president to impose tariffs for 150 days before getting congressional approval. On Saturday, Trump announced he is going to use that law to raise global tariffs to 15%. That's the max amount allowed. It's drawing sharp reaction from U.S. trading partners. This morning, European leaders are warning that previous trade deals struck with the U.S. are now at risk. Oregon Democratic Congresswoman Janelle Bynum is pushing legislation that would require Customs and Border Protection to quickly refund tariffs to businesses out of its own budget. She says the Relief Act would level the playing field for large and small businesses, since many small companies aren't able to afford expensive litigation to recoup their losses.
That small businesses have passed some of these costs on to consumers. They've eaten their own profits, or they've held off on making investments in their business, whether it's equipment or in human capital.
Bynum says the Relief Act would cut out the long application process for businesses and require refunds from the feds within 90 days of enactment. President Trump has said striking down his tariffs would be an economic body blow to the country. All right, switching gears now. Rod joining us with a look at our weather.
You know what this week is? It's the final week of meteorological winter.
Okay, so
March
things are
1
going to change.
is Sunday,
Okay.
and that's meteorological spring. I did some Outlook work over the weekend, and it looks to me like March is going to be kind of right down Main Street, which means it's not going to be really warm and not going to be really crazy cold or anything. It's just going to be kind of what we normally would expect. And that will bring us some more mountain snow, so that's good news, and that's where I begin. Here's the Cascade Pass camera at Government Camp. This was snow covered earlier this morning, but temperatures, as expected, have risen 34 degrees up there, so that's now mainly wet. Here's Santiam Pass, even warmer. The warmth is coming up from the south, and Santiam is at 39 right now. And Willamette Pass, 39 degrees, a little bit higher up, over 5,000 feet in elevation, and again, that is wet. So, you know, don't assume you're going to have wet roads if you're going to be leaving later today to go up into the Cascades, but right now, that's the way it looks. Part of the big story, and this is what the second week of kind of pounding our chest in celebration of bases that are now growing. So 68 inches of timberline is decent. Meadows 65. Ski Bowl is still hurting a little bit. Only 21 on the ground. Bachelor is 43. These are the last 24-hour reports. Timberline 11, Meadows 11. If you go back to Saturday, the amounts are over a foot to as much as about 20 inches of new snow reported. The story outside of the mountains, of course, is the rain. There's the Astoria column camera up in Clatsop County. And by the way, because we always get emails on this, so our agreement with the Park Service, as I understand it, is to call this the Astoria column for our purposes. I know it's the John Astor column. I get it. Okay, our temperature outside right now is 45 degrees up there in Clatsop County. Here's the Oregon Veterans Home camera out in the Dalles. And it's a gray day, and the rain has been pushing all the way through the gorge, including Wasco County, and headed out toward Pendleton. And at 46, pretty similar day to the one we're seeing here in Portland. Here is downtown, looking at the Tilcomb Crossing and the south waterfront on your left from the Portland Spirit Landing. Just a cloudy, gray day with the raindrops falling. Not much wind. I mean, we have winds to about 15 miles per hour. The setup continues to be what is now broken into two upper-level lows offshore. And there's a jet stream around this bottom low that's sending this plume of moisture right up into us. The deal, though, is this is originally from an origin that came out of the Gulf of Alaska. So it is not really a warm tropical flow. And because of that, it's holding our rain amounts a little bit in check. We're not seeing the high snow levels in the Cascades, and we're not seeing enough snow melt or rain runoff to produce flooding concerns. So that's good news. What we basically have is a somewhat cool day out there with steady rain that will not break up until we get into the overnight hours. These temperatures not really expected to warm this afternoon, but to hold steady. 43 in Beaverton, 45 in Portland, 40 in Happy Valley. So that's considered cool, of course. 46 in Salem. Futurecast just shows the steady moisture at 5 p.m. this afternoon. And as we get into tomorrow morning, now we've got some breaks in the action. So today, with the 4-day rain event, Saturday, Sunday, today, and tomorrow, today is the wettest of the bunch. Afternoon temperatures, we just talked about, holding fairly steady. It's warmer out east because you folks aren't getting the moisture, steady moisture that we're getting here on the west side. Here's our 7-day by Wednesday, just a few scattered showers. Thursday's dry until late day, a little system Friday. And this rain might hold to our north, but I'm watching it. And right now, the weekend, I like doing this. Looks sunny. That's not bad for the old man, huh?
I think we cut you off a little
yeah,
there.
It's okay.
Rod did catch it, if you were wondering.
I tossed it and I caught it, which is pretty athletic for me.
Very athletic. You were inspired by the Olympics, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
Okay, Rod, thank you. All right, still ahead here on KGW Plus, a local cheerleading team celebrating a big win on the national stage. That story coming up in just 2 minutes.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
I'm Trina Green, morning anchor at KGW and new dog mom to this sweet guy. Meet Barry. I love getting your mornings off to a great start, whether it's sharing stories of resilience and triumph in our community, or following breaking news from Beaverton to Gresham and everywhere in between. We've got you covered, because when news moves fast, you need a team that moves with you. Make the move to KGW Sunrise, weekday mornings from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
Well, Olympians aren't the only ones making their nation proud. The Tualatin High School competitive cheerleading team just won nationals this weekend. Libby Dowsett caught up with them in California as they celebrated their big win.
Team members were ecstatic, saying this win at the USA Spirit Nationals came as a surprise, even though this is Tualatin's third national championship in competitive cheer in recent years.
It's been just like this surreal moment of winning 2 titles in 2 weeks and haven't really had a chance to just stop and think about everything they've done.
We honestly didn't expect it because there was a lot of teams that we were winning. That was kind of unexpected.
Coach Crystal Corona and the team celebrating back-to-back state titles and a national cheerleading championship win.
We're going to Disneyland.
After a long year. 6 days on, 1 day off, and missing last year's nationals due to state being the same weekend.
They haven't seen us in a year. We have to come back and really just show them.
Considering themselves underdogs.
So we were in a very tough division this year.
They took home the big one.
We all knew we had to put our whole heart into it and get the job done.
We're gonna go in with our secret sauce, is what we call it. And it's just having really great execution and really big confidence in what we do.
States are like biggest, like that's what we work for all year. Nationals is like just a little like extra, like if we can get it.
This team showing their school, the state, and the nation. Tualatin has what it takes to fly high.
It's a very high standard we hold for ourselves. We want to be the best we can be.
The cheerleaders will receive their state rings and championship banners during their upcoming banquet. Libby Dowsett, KGW News.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
Well, the Olympics have wrapped up, but the leaders of the Mountain View Speed Skating Club in Vancouver say during Winter Olympic years, they often see a surge in interest as watching elite athletes pushing their limits inspires the rest of us to try something new. Leaders at the club say the goal is to help build passion among the next generation of speed skaters. I believe it. I feel inspired by them for sure.
You know, Mountain View Ice Rink and their academy had their winter show on Saturday. My daughter performed, so we went. But part of the show was that club coming out and doing a speed skating exhibition, if you will. And the crowd loved it because you don't see speed skaters that often. You just don't. And they were so much fun to watch.
And your daughter is also
She's a
very
figure
talented.
skater. Yeah. And we did have, I wish I knew the name, but a past Olympian speed skater that lives in Vancouver that came out on the ice. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, pretty cool.
All right, outside for the remainder of today, what you see is what you're going to have. We've got temperatures generally in the mid-40s out there currently, steady rain. Don't look for that to break up the rest of today. We will get some breaks in the rain at times tomorrow, however.
Okay, sounds good, Rod. Thank you. And a reminder, we have added more live news to KGW Plus from 7 to 9 in the morning and at 5:30. We hope you have a great day. We'll see you back here at 4 o'clock.